Hello and welcome to Unified Peace Prayer Collective. It is not Monday. It was a public holiday yesterday for anyone who's not in Aotearoa. It is Tuesday, the 1st of June, 2026, and I'm so happy to be here with you all. I'm so grateful for all of you who tune in and your love and your blessings, and those of you who come live consistently. It really makes an impact not only for your own life and your own energy, but also for humanity. And I just am very grateful for your presence. And our beautiful, beloved Lady of the Keys of the Unified Peace Prayer Collective, Hathor, is really grateful for our consistency in offering these keys and codes. And every time I'm tired on a Tuesday and I think, oh, I don't want to do this, she steps in and she goes, Remember, this is not about you and the comfortable bed you sleep in. This is about the entirety of the human race. And yes, that does mean that this work and even your attendance here is making a difference for the planet. So thank you. Thank you to those of you who watch this on the recording. Please comment on my YouTube and let me know that you've been watching because I see that there's viewers, but no one ever comments and I want to know who you are. So, there is a lot going on energetically at the moment, and we had a phenomenal full moon on Sunday night, a blue moon in Sagittarius. I am not an astrologer. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I read somewhere on the internet that it was in Sagittarius. But basically, I'm going to talk into what I've been perceiving and the conversations I've been having with people around what's in the field, and a huge influx of you have been entering into a vortex of money frequency dynamics that have felt really edgy and really quite stressful. And so I just want to remind you, excuse me, that there will be times where we go through these collective dynamic shifts. And as you can tell, there's a lot shifting. Mohi kia kurum. Money is a frequency. It is not a fixed thing. It's not just the physical numbers in your bank account. It's not just the actual cash money. It is a frequency. And so, what we can do when we're tuning into this is actually connect into the frequency of money. To me, it's very feminine. I see this like green goddess dancing. She's flitting, she's moving. And at times, when I'm stressed about money, I go, "Ah!" And she goes, oh, she doesn't want me. She's closed off. And it's in the moments where I go, ah, I love you that she can come in. It's like your channel. When you're trying so hard to have a fucking vision in your meditation, you're not seeing the vision in your meditation because you're seeing the trying and the please make it work. When you stop trying and you surrender to the process, you open your channel like a fucking vortex, a funnel, and the information comes falling in. And I know that the way we've been conditioned to believe information and codes around money, we've been conditioned to believe that we must work hard, no rest, absolutely grind, 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 and you work hard for a paycheck. But it's not true. I went through a phase in about 2017 where I started yelling out whenever I was driving my tractor, money at the top of my lungs. And I received a fucking refund on my student loan, which was completely unwarranted. And I have no idea why it happened, but I'm not questioning it. Um, I've received random letters in the mail saying I got overcharged for something and getting like $28 here and $28 here and finding $2 in the street. And like once you move into the vortex of like money is just everywhere all around me all the time and she comes to me all the time, effortlessly, you begin this dance, right? And if you think about the quantum architecture of an infinity symbol, there are moments where the dance is wide and open around the curvature at the outsides, and then there are moments where it comes together and there's a pinch right before the shift back up into the abundant state. What we're saying is don't go crazy and like spend outside of your means, but also allow yourself the opportunity to start to experiment and play with what is possible for you. Because money is not a fixed address, and money likes to circulate. Money that is hoarded away and not allowed to play gets bored and then drains out in other ways. Money that is hoarded away and not allowed to play, gets bored and drains in other ways. Money likes to circulate, so the more you allow it to move out, the more comes. It is a dance. And if you think about the architecture again of the infinity symbol, let it out and let it come back. Let it out and let it come back. And it will honestly, like, once you release your attachment to being good or bad around money, or your amount of money that you earn, or what you have being anything personal about you, then you move into this space where you realize the quantum architecture of the dynamic is just in and out, backwards and forwards. Maha kia sotoro munyandere ikia karo umsit indiandere ikia karo usotoro munyandere ikia kara umsit. And I'm saying this not as a person who's like on my high horse riding in my private jets. Like, I am a down to earth, regular human being who also goes through the same cycles as you guys. And last week in particular, for myself, for a lot of you, for a lot of my clients, for a lot of people I know, was a moment of extreme pinch. We're right close to that cross point of the infinity symbol where everything felt really intense. And it feels like it's a test to see. A year ago, almost a year ago, in August 2025, I got on a plane from Brisbane to Bali with $50 to my name. And I'm not exaggerating. I don't have a fucking magical rainy day savings account. I had $50. I had plane tickets there, home, accommodation booked for the first week. And yes, I was planning on working while I was away, but I was a jittering fucking wreck. I was terrified. I wasn't sleeping. I was trying to sell from a place of desperation, and I was so restricted in my expression that no one was buying what I was offering because I was trying to sell things from the place of I need money to survive. There's nothing wrong with selling from a place of I need money to survive because I do. I have bills to pay just like everybody else, even if I live a slightly different lifestyle, or I did when I was traveling. But my human was so hopped up on adrenaline, on fear, on shame, on spiraling. Everyone thinks I'm doing this wonderful thing, but I don't have consistent income. And what if people know it's inconsistent? And I absolutely fucking just, I turned into such a mess. And it took me like a couple of weeks to get myself to a point of recalibrating my energy to go, I am good at what I do. When I stabilize into my energy, when I ground myself and I look at everything I've created in my life, I am safe. What does my inner child need? Oh, she needs reassurance we're not going to be homeless. She needs reassurance that I can, in fact, keep selling and make money. She needs reassurance that actually I'm not going to end up homeless on the street. And then I bought in frequency work. I bought in light language and I bought in tapping and I bought in this, that, and the other thing. But it took me a really long time because at that point I was like quite destabilized and I was frustrated because I had to spend a lot more savings than I thought I did on part of the travel that I wasn't prepared for. Anyway, the reason I'm telling that story is because fast forward to now, last week I ended up in a situation it wasn't as similar as getting down to the wire of $50. But it was a similar situation of I live in a house now and I have different bills and I have certain things and all of my bills come out at the end of the month. My human is starting to feel very vulnerable because I'm sharing things that I wouldn't necessarily share with the wide world. But I'm a vulnerable, open person and it's okay. Two people signed up to join a program that I was expecting a large amount of money from, and then they pulled out at the last minute. And so I had expected income and then a massive drop. And then all my bills come out at the end of the month. And my human went, oh shit. Okay. But instead of what I did last year, which was freak the fuck out and spiral into this desperation, I went, oh, how interesting. That was unexpected. I have different circumstances now. I have more responsibilities to keep the stability that I'm creating for myself. What is my next move? There were moments where I wanted to pull the sheets over my head and not get out of bed because I occasionally avoid things. But I managed to sit in this place of observation of the human experience. And again, the infinity symbol feels really valid here. If I go into the cross point and the pinch in this moment and go, oh my God, I'm fucked, what am I doing? I'm reducing my frequency and I'm bringing myself into a place of closed offness. And so I sat and I observed. Well, I also went on lots of big walks and observed because that's where I get all my inspiration for a lot of the work that I'm doing at the moment. And I went, well, okay. And instead of panicking about how much money I needed and ignoring it, I sat down and I said, I need X amount, X amount, X amount, X amount, X amount. Great. This is the total amount of money I need in the next 5 days. And again, I sat in the moment of I trust God. I trust in what's coming. I know exactly what it is that I need, the amount of money, what dates those bills are coming out. And instead of burrowing my head into the sand, I sat with my frequency and I witnessed again and again. I didn't lose sleep over it. And this is not me saying I'm high and mighty. There may come a time where I learn this lesson again. Please God, I've had enough of learning this lesson. And I might not handle it as calmly this time, but I honestly think me living in a house for the first time in 3 years has stabilized my nervous system past the point I haven't been able to breathe out for this long in a really long time. I've slept in the same fucking house in the same bed for 7 weeks for the first time in 3 years. It's a revolution. So I had this opportunity to sit in this moment of discomfort and realize I've walked this path before when I was getting on a plane to a fucking foreign country. Right now, I'm living in a nice house in an English-speaking country. I have everything I need, and it's going to be okay. And that level of trust that I felt in my body was something that I have not witnessed before. I can't tell you what created it. It's probably the stability of living in this place. It's probably the stability of not having some annoying man stressing me out. It's probably a number of things, but it was also really, really fascinating to witness that even in the moments of extreme stress, my human still had the capacity to zoom out and go, that's actually going to be okay. And then I got to fucking work. You might have noticed last week that I posted like a bajillion reels because I needed to up my engagement, and I did. And then the sales started coming. And it's like we can always make an opportunity or create something when we're in flux, when we're putting our energy into the influx. It's not we have to make it work. It's I trust it's going to work out and I'm going to sit down, I'm going to ground, I'm going to go for a run, I'm going to go to the sauna, and I'm going to act from a place of integrity. And I'm going to act from a place of understanding that if I am grounded and my heart is open, what I offer to the world is therefore going to be received well. There was still a pinch in my field because a part of me knows that the sales for Lucky Girl Frequency were much lower than I anticipated, and perhaps there was restriction in the field somewhere that I didn't pick up. But then I sat with that too and I readjusted. There's this thing that I wrote down and I can't remember what it is, so I'm gonna just read it straight off my notes, but I've taken a bajillion notes, so let me scroll and find it. I'm responsible for the participation that I have in my life, and God is responsible for the orchestration. God handles the orchestration, I handle the participation. If we can sit in that, if we can allow ourselves to go, well, where am I not trusting? Where am I no longer trusting that I will be provided for? For me currently, the first thing that pops to mind when I enter into that vortex of where am I not trusting is how the fuck am I going to pay my rent? There is a 23-year-old version of me when I started my business and I went full time for the first time and I was woefully unprepared. I had no fucking business savvy and I had a lot of enthusiasm, but very, very little business understanding. That 23-year-old version of me is like, how the fuck am I going to pay my rent? And I can feel it. My shoulders are like this. My body is feeling constricted. And so if I sit there and I go, hey, 23-year-old Tana, we're 35 now. We've studied a lot of business courses. We've invested like fucking nearly $50,000 into all of the different business courses and the trainings and the things. And I tell her, okay, great. Look at what we've created together. You don't have to be scared anymore because we've been living here for 7 weeks and we've never had to worry about paying rent. We're safe now. Sometimes the younger version of you who needs to be reparented is not the 5-year-old version of you. It's the 17-year-old version of you who stayed too late at a party, drank too much, and kissed a boy she didn't really want to because she was afraid. Sometimes the version of you who needs to be reparented in this moment is like a version of you from last week who you were really harsh with because she ate too much cake. When we talk about reparenting or loving on your inner child, for me, it's like this entire hologram of the wholeness of you and the multidimensionality of you. You are not separate from your inner child, and therefore you're not separate from the version of you last week, or the 23-year-old version of you, or the 13-year-old version of you. And so, how can you sit in these moments of the cross point of the deep discomfort and still honor yourself? You didn't fuck up by getting into this place. I used to get so fucked off with myself when finances became tight because why can't I be consistent? Why am I inconsistent? My consistency of energy, based on my human design principles, will always be inconsistent. I would love to get to a place where the inconsistent months still have the abundance from the consistent months, but that's a learning process. I'm still experimenting and learning through the journey of being an entrepreneur. I've only done it successfully for almost 2 years now. I am very new at this. And so, what I need to understand and do for myself is to be like, hey, I love you, Tana, you're doing okay. Because the second you bring judgment into the scenario with yourself, you're just adding to the fucking pressure. You're adding to the intensity of what you've already got on your plate. So stop bullying yourself when things get hard. And this can apply to all areas of your life. It's not just about money. When I look at myself and my experience as a human, today I saw a picture of one of my friends when she was pregnant, and this deep ache hit me. And I'm so fucking overjoyed that she's getting to experience the bliss of motherhood. And yet there is still a part of me that goes, when's it my turn? And I'm looking at my bed. I sat on my bed, I watched the sunset, and I thought, okay, I'm just gonna sit with this. And I loved myself. And I journaled about it. And I wrote an Instagram post about it. And then I thought, yeah, I can live in the both and. I can be deeply, joyfully overjoyed that this person gets something that I want. And I can take that feedback that my body gave me as there's deep desire here. I didn't wallow in the fact that I'm sad that I don't have that yet because that's not going to help me. But I did allow myself 10 minutes to just go, there's a feeling here. I'm going to sit with it for a bit. I'm going to journal. I'm going to excavate it gently. I didn't say, well, you fucked up. You fucked up all those relationships, blah, 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 blah. Like, what the fuck is that going to do? Yes, I did have a big weekend and I feel like I'm swearing a lot today. But we've reached a new level of unhinged. Berating yourself for not getting things right is never going to get you anywhere. Your self-compassion and your self-love is the thing that's going to actually turn the tides. I can love myself fiercely, and no, that doesn't mean my husband's going to walk in tomorrow if I decide to love myself harder. What it means is I can love myself no matter what my life looks like. You can love yourself no matter what your bank account looks like. You can love yourself no matter what your career looks like, what your health looks like, whether you have physical pain in the body. There is always an opportunity to say, I am a child of God and I am a deeply divine being of light who's currently in this human simulation experiencing life reflected back at itself. And that's not spiritual bypassing, that's the truth of divinity. You're doing a fucking great job. This experience is part of your soul's evolution. You wouldn't be having this experience if it wasn't part of your soul's evolution. And I find this quite tricky to articulate because it's something that I'm currently embedding and embodying into my structures. But it came through in one of the ceremonies that I facilitated last week, and it was like the slowness of when is this person coming to love me, and when do I get to have a house and a child and a family, and when do I get a person to wake up next to every day? The whole fucking point of it taking longer than I anticipated is the soul's evolution and growth into this moment. It's the same as like 25-year-old me choosing a partner that would end up being a narcissistic abuser for 4 years. I could have sat in the shit from that and been like, I'm a victim for the rest of my life. 100%. I tried it on for a year. I didn't like it. That experience was terrible. Nobody wants to be abused. No one wants their friend, their daughter, their sister, their mother to be hurt. But it is a simple act of spiritual evolution. It's a pathway of ascension. It's an opportunity to go, this gave me keys to become who I am now. I can see it clearly because I'm not a victim to it. I experienced this circle, this cycle, this evolutionary pathway through deep discomfort, fear-based programming, and pain. And it gave me keys, codes, and the availability within my capacity through my healing journey to hold my clients in a way that I could never have prior to that experience. And so, therefore, I am grateful. Same with money. There is a learning in every aspect, but it is a very important key that Ascended Master Isis keeps bringing through is that we don't get so busy healing that we forget to just enjoy our fucking lives. Because what a shame it would be to spend so long trying to ascend beyond this human experience than to just fucking live it. This is the only planet you get to be in physicality, so enjoy it. This transmission feels complete. I know that that was a lot of me talking and not a lot of sweet, loving, light language or breathing exercises, but that feels like everything that needed to come through. There is deep, deep, deep keys in this conversation. And if you want to, I recommend listening to it again because there is information beyond me speaking that is being transferred right now. We have the Syrians, Blue Avians, and the Lyrians in the field. We have the ancient Egyptian goddesses and we have Mary Magdalene's keys. So, whilst you are going to sleep at night, you can listen to this with the sound turned down really low and let those beings come into your field. Let them activate you. And on top of it, like, yeah, I'm always talking about the beings that are external, but I'm also a huge frequency. When I speak, I elevate the people around me because of the frequency that I've created within myself. And the way that I've done that is through my daily devotion and my activation of my channel and the devotion to my experience on planet Earth being the highest timeline available to me in this and all moments. And at the same time, still allowing myself the opportunity to enjoy life. I went to a fucking party on Sunday night for the first time in my, I don't know, for the first time in 2 years, I got a little bit tipsy and I enjoyed myself. And I never used to let myself do that because the consequences of a hangover was not worth it. But this time I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Everyone else is having a fun time, and I was having a fun time, and then I had half a fucking martini and I had an even funner time. And it's not that serious. When we forget to have fun, the restriction comes and we enter the cross point. So when we expand out into the joy and the bliss of life and the remembering that you can eat a fucking peach and it tastes like heaven, and this is a blessing. This planet is a blessing. Fuck worrying about global warming or the like bullshit that's happening out in the rest of the world. You just focus on you and the five people that you love the most, and you water your grass, and you realize that the greenest grass is the grass that you absolutely pour your love into. Okay? Mic drop. If you love this, please subscribe. See you on Tuesdays at 6 p.m.